ACDP, halala. Halala, ACDP, halala. I said halala, ACDP, halala. Halala, ACDP, halala. Well, it is my greatest joy to be with you today. Please be seated. And I must thank many people know him now as my co-pilot. Ask why they say he's my co-pilot. Honorable Wayne Tring, it has been a pleasure for, how many years have you been deputy? 14. 14 years has been the deputy president of the ACDP, and we want to thank him for his kind words. Now, allow me to please start by acknowledging somebody who's not here with us today. A lady by the name of Mama Lydia Mishwe, who would have been with me today. This is the first manifesto launch of the ACDP that she is not with us. A few things maybe I should say about her. She was a woman of strength, a woman of wisdom, a woman of authority, a woman of courage. Many of you don't know that when we started, there were a lot of intimidation. She never once complained and said, "You are getting us into trouble with this ACDP, what are you doing?" She said, I will stand next to you until the vision has been fulfilled. So I want to acknowledge her, and in the presence of everybody say, I thank God for that woman he gave me for 46 years. Now, obviously, she has gone home to a better place where those who love Jesus will follow her one day. I want to acknowledge also, I'm sure there are faces you might not know on the stage. Members of the ACDP have been welcomed, but there is the newest members who have not been acknowledged that I want to acknowledge. The gentleman I'm going to introduce to you, for ACDP members who don't know him, used to be the president of African Covenant Party, ACO. And he said the Lord spoke to him. The rest is history. Dr. Baloyi is here with his wife. Please stand. Now let me say this, friends, about, and their entourage. I must also welcome their entourage because they are not the only two. People are talking about unity among Christian political parties. ACDP has been there even when we were condemned, when we were criticized, when many Christians were sleeping. Now that they're waking up from sleep, they're saying, let's come together. Now he said the right thing to do is to join those who were there before us. And we honor him for that. We honor him for that. So now to come, well, SABC and the other media houses that are here, from my side, I must also say thank you very much for honoring us. Thank you very much for being with us this morning. I am going to go to my notes, otherwise I'm going to be tempted to do something that I'm not supposed to do this morning. But I must thank the program directors this morning who have done an excellent job so far. I also, on my part, want to welcome all our guests, particularly the pastors, guardian committee members. ACDP has guardian committee members who ensure that we toe the line. We do not depart from our policies because of popularity or because we are given money. Because some people who are given money, they change their positions to please those who give them money. We want to thank them for the great work they are doing. ACDP members, Where would we be without ACDP members and leaders, all our supporters, members of the press, South Africans who are watching via different media channels this morning? Welcome, and thank you for tuning in. Welcome, thank you very much. There is an acronym that I must say something about, an acronym, SOS. SOS is generally known as a distress signal, a call for help. Some people believe it means save our souls, while others believe it means save our ship, particularly when it comes from ships. The ACDP has heard the SOS from the people of South Africa. People of South Africa who are saying, we are going the wrong direction. Some are saying we are sinking in poverty. We are sinking in lack of services and many other things. And I'm here this morning to say the ACDP has heard this SOS from the people of South Africa, people who want service, order, and safety. We want a South Africa, obviously, all of us, that has a vibrant, healthy economy where jobs and opportunities are in abundance, where everyone is able to benefit and feel safe. We want proper service delivery. We are tired of seeing protests, tires being burned in the streets because people are not getting service. The past 30 years, since the dawn of South Africa's democracy, there have been many promises of a free and brighter future for all. However, this has not happened and is not happening. Over the years, we heard the ruling party say, give us another chance. And we are here to say 30 years is too long. We now want change. I said 30 years is too long. We now want what? We now want what? We want change. After a decade of state capture and corruption under the Zuma administration that saw our state-owned companies like Eskom and Transnet, SAA looted and plundered, and our state institutions such as SARS, the Hawks, the NPA, and others, we all hoped for a new dawn under the Ramaphosa administration. Yet sadly, we have gone from bad to worse over the past 5 years. We were given vain hope. We hoped that things were going to change. Things did not change. Last night, as I prepared myself for this morning, the lights went off. It is fashionable for Eskom to switch off the lights while you are busy. And this morning we want to say we are tired of that. We are sick and tired of that. May the ruling party hear as well this morning. We are sick and tired of them. The sad thing is that in the year 2000, between 2000 and 2010, Eskom was voted as the best power utility in the whole world. Not in Africa, but in the whole world. We beat Europe. We beat the Americas because Eskom was providing what it was created for, Today it is a shadow of itself. And we want to say we are tired of that. We want change. I said we want change. Under President Ramaphosa's watch, we also witnessed unprecedented rioting and looting in KZN and parts of Gauteng in 2021, leading to 354 lives that were lost and more than 500 billion rands in damage to infrastructure and other losses. To date, we still don't know who the masterminds of this carefully orchestrated insurrection were. The serious failure on the part of intelligence agencies and the SAPS, as well as the executive's deficiencies, were highlighted in the high-level panel inquiry, which also found that internal disputes within the ANC had contributed to the rioting and unrest. This disgraceful and ANC government must be held accountable for what has happened. And we are asking the question that is asked by many South Africans. For how much longer should the suffering masses who are poor, vulnerable, and who are failed by their own government cry out for help without anybody hearing them? ACDP says, we have heard your cry. We have heard your SOS. We want to do something about your cries. How much longer must they send out SOS to South African political leaders? I wonder how many political leaders have responded to the SOS from the people of South Africa. The ACDP, I repeat, has heard their cry for help. And we are now responding to their SOS. The ACDP says to voters out there, we need a change of government. We need righteous leaders like the ACDP who will respond with compassion, care, and a willingness to help in order to make South Africa one of the most peaceful, orderly, and prosperous nations on earth. Do you think it is possible? I'm asking, is it possible? It is possible. King Solomon once said, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked rule, the people suffer and mourn. How many know that South Africans are mourning right now? We want South Africans to rejoice. And for South Africans to rejoice, what must we do? Change leadership, ladies and gentlemen. I said change leadership. Bring in righteous leadership. It is time for 7 leaders who understand the importance of stewardship of state resources. And leadership who understand that state resources are not there to be looted and stolen, as has been happening while the incumbent, the government right now, is watching and doing nothing. It is time for the ACDP to be given an opportunity to govern and help those who have sent out distress signals and SOS for assistance and help. It is time for those who want criminals. It is time for those who want criminals to be removed from our streets, our schools, and all public places to say, give the ACDP a chance. Voters out there, give the ACDP an opportunity to correct the wrongs that were created and made by the ANC government. The ACDP has effective policies and solutions for the many challenges currently facing our nation that are able to boost our economy and help create a brighter future for us all. Now, for those who say, give us some specifics. What policies are you talking about? What can you do and what will you do? Under justice and crime, I want to say, government's #1 responsibility all over the world, any true government worth its salt, government's #1 responsibility is to protect its citizens and ensure that their citizens are living in safety. Is your government protecting you? Is your government ensuring that you live in safety and security? So what is the solution? What is the solution? I say, what is the solution? The current government must change because they are failing in their most basic responsibility. A government that fails to ensure safety and protection for their people is not worth its salt and should be told it's time to go enjoy your pension. That's what we are saying this morning. ANC, you have made enough money. Give us space. Refer space, man. Recession, man. You have had your chance. We all want to live in a country where we feel safe, whether it is in our homes or playing in recreational spaces or going to work or even to school. We also want to see the recovery of the billions of rands stolen through state capture and corruption. We want to see the thieves behind bars. All those who have stolen, we want them behind bars, and we want their money that they have stolen to be brought back so that it can be used to serve the people of South Africa. The ACDP will do the following. We will establish an independent, specialized anti-corruption entity with prosecutor-driven investigations. Possibly even a new Chapter 9 anti-corruption institution. ACDP is going to push that we have a new Chapter 9 institution that will focus on corruption. We want an anti-corruption institution that will be fully resourced with trained staff and with secure tenure of office. We used to have the scorpions. How many remember the days of the scorpions? They were biting, not so. They were very effective. And when the ruling party realized that these people are going to arrest some of our friends, they said, let's remove them. Let's replace them. And now we have people, ministers, who are still in cabinet today. Nothing is happening to them. That's why today we are saying time for change has come. We need change, we need change, we need change. The ACDP will ensure that the Auditor General, the Public Protector, SAPS, Hawks, SIU, AFU, and the NPA are properly staffed and resourced and are protected from political interference. Given the slow recovery of the tens of billions of rands stolen through state capture and corruption, we want to approach civil courts internationally to recover those funds. Do you want those funds to come back to South Africa? That's the plan of the ACDP. We are definitely going to ensure that the international courts are used, civil courts are used to ensure that all the money that is stolen is recovered. We will further review under justice and parole, under justice and crime, review the parole system, and deny bail for certain categories of crimes such as murder, rape, and robbery, and car hijacking. I was confronted by a gentleman who said, but now, if you say you are going to deny rapists bail, what will happen if that man is framed? Lies have been told about that man. How will you know if that man is innocent? Because if you deny bail, you are saying that man definitely has done it. Now, we are also going to introduce a new law that is biblical. A law that says, if you falsely accuse somebody, report somebody, and show that that person is arrested for a crime they did not commit, and you are found, you are the one who's going to serve the sentence you wanted that person to serve. No other party talks about this. People will think twice before they frame innocent people, because they will know, if I do it and it is discovered, where am I going? Where am I going? The amount of years that that person would serve if he was found guilty will be served by who? By who? By the liar. Okay, the liar will do that. Now, when you do that, I promise you, people who are accused of rape, obviously there will be evidence. There will be evidence. While that evidence is sought, while the DNA and other important issues are looked at, that person will be in jail. And if it is found that the poor man was there and innocently, he did not commit the crime, the one who laid the charge is in trouble. That's what the ACDP is going to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, those who are saying, we are tired of murderers and rapists who violate us. You take them, you lay charges, and after 1 or 2 days, they are back in the street. And when they're back in the street, they point their fingers at you. Nzokola, Nzokola. Are they doing that? Once ACDP is given the responsibility, there won't be a chance for that. The parole system, rapists will know you rape, no parole. You murder, no parole. No parole, all right? Now, we will also broaden prison labor programs. It is not fair for you and I to work very hard for our living. And yet, the very people who are terrorizing us, if they are not lucky enough, they are arrested, they get everything free of charge. 3 hot meals a day free of charge. And yet the people that violated are not getting those meals. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to support and favor innocent victims and not those who are violating them. So the ACDP is definitely getting ready to give justice to the people of South Africa. There is a lot that I can still say about this one, but let me go ahead and talk about job creation. Now, obviously, I started with justice and crime eradication. How many know that for as long as you have high crime rates in the country, investors will not invest? Foreign investors are looking for places in Africa to invest. They are looking for places where they will be safe, their families will be safe, and their assets will be safe. That's why the ACDP says the important thing is to first get rid of criminality. Close the borders and don't allow criminals to come from anywhere in the world to come to South Africa. The current government, the ANC government, is friends with criminals. Not long, there was a report in the media about one political party that has offices in Bryansfontein, that was producing IDs, a political party represented in parliament, producing IDs to hand out to illegal immigrants so that they also vote for them. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want such things to stop, get the ACDP in the authority seats. ACDP friends, I must say, we will not be friends with criminals. We will not be friends with criminals. Criminals will hate us. Why? Because ACDP is going to get them where they belong. All right? Almost 8 million unemployed persons in this country, according to the quarterly labor force survey, quarter of 3 March 2023. There are nearly 19 million people surviving on social grants. I feel sorry for people who celebrate grants. I pray that your eyes will open. You were not born to depend on 350 rands. You do not need a government that is like a Father Christmas to you. Give you 350 rands and you are happy. A few years ago, we were in Brazil, in a city called Aziz. One thing I'll mention that surprised me, in the streets there were no beggars. And so before we came back home, the mayor arranged a luncheon, a farewell luncheon for us. And after speaking, he gave us an opportunity to ask questions. My question was, do you have poor people in Aziz? And he said, yes, of course we do. I said, where are they? He said, no, we have a policy. And this is a policy that the ACDP will also pursue. He said, the policy is, nobody must be in the streets. And so what do we do with the people in the streets? He said, we have a center where we keep them for maximum 14 days, maximum. And during those 40 days, we trace the family of this person we found in the street. He says, because we argue that there is nobody who is in the street if everything is okay at home. So he said, we trace that family, the family of this person we found in the street. We bring in social workers, and if necessary, psychologists. We bring them to find out what are the problems, what caused this person to end up in the streets. And then we'll solve the problems. We bring about reconciliation. But he also said, if this person is in the streets because of poverty, he said, as a city, we find a job for this person. And while we are finding a job for this person, we give them something to eat. We give them something to eat. While we are finding a job for this person, nobody, they say, must live on handouts. And I agree with them. People who are poor today must be assisted to find jobs, so that people will work for themselves and will work with their own hands. The ACDP, to help the economy to recover, will create an enabling environment through guaranteed security, infrastructure development, a professional public service, good education, and vocational training relevant to global trends and technological advances. We also will focus on the country's competitive advantages, including its mining and natural resources through beneficiation, so sophisticated financial and business service sectors, its proximity to fast-growing African markets, high-quality universities, productive agricultural sector, growing tourism and manufacturing and construction sectors. tourism is an area that must be developed. Many tourists who leave South Africa, when they leave, they say something that meant a lot to them, something they've appreciated the most. It's not our hotels, it's not our food, even though some do say they're grateful for the food, but they say the people of South Africa are nice and kind. And we want this kindness, friends, to remain. That is why the ACDP say, South Africans, something that is called respect must be restored. Restored. Respect must be restored. Respect for God, number one. Respect for self, number two. Respect for your neighbor, number three. And respect for property, number four. We have people who are destroying property because they are not taught respect. And government is involved, government officials and ministers are involved in many things that show that they don't have respect. ACDP believes we must respect our God, we must respect our neighbors, we must respect ourselves. All right? Time is going. The energy and the logistics crisis, addressing the energy and logistics crisis. Households and businesses have been devastated by the ongoing load shedding. No economy can function without access to reliable and affordable electricity. According to National Treasury, Transnet transports less freight today than it did in 1994. This, unfortunately, is having a severe impact on the fiscus as taxes and mining royalties fall. As the economy is heavily reliant on the export of ores and minerals for its foreign exchange earnings, this crisis is not only having a severe impact on the fiscus as taxes and mining royalties fall. The country is going to struggle. South Africa owes the international community. How many know that the Bible says a borrower is a slave to the lender? Vote us out there, rescue South Africa before South Africa is owned by other countries. Owned by other countries. Because we took money from them and we can't repay. ACDP believes in hard work, training our own people to work with their hands, training our people, even children from school. We must train our children. When we went to school, we were taught how to work with our hands. That's why today, where we work and where we live and where we stay is clean, because we were taught how to work with our hands. The ACDP takes note of the recent report prepared for the National Treasury by a German consortium. The report they gave was their assessment of the Eskom's operational environment says cut red tape that power station managers have to deal with, and that will improve their ability to manage maintenance. Remove political control over managers of Eskom included. The report also suggests that to prevent the collapse of some of its plants, Eskom must be allowed to do proper maintenance work. Eskom must be allowed without political interference. The report highlights that the main focus of the Eskom coal fleet has been to quickly fix the actual bottlenecks in the generation capacities rather than prioritizing the restoration of the plants to their original condition following outage. ACDP does not agree with government's program to shut down
all our coal plants and send our coal overseas. We don't agree with that. ACDP does not agree with that. Why? Because the very countries that are saying move away from coal, they have built strong economies because of coal power stations themselves. And they don't want to give us an opportunity to also build power stations that are strong, that will ensure that our economies grow.
So ACDP does not agree. ACDP will show that even though we will diversify, I'm not saying we will not diversify, we will, but we'll maintain our current power stations and ensure that they are able to produce even as they did during the time when we got the best award.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking at my, all right, what are we going to do? We are going to exempt the energy sector from preferential procurement provisions and localization to exclude middlemen, which has led to corruption and grossly inflated prices. This preferential treatment, ladies and gentlemen, let me say something about BEE. ACDP supported BEE from 1994. We said, give dark people like myself an opportunity to catch up. But ACDP said 25 years maximum. You know, there are Americans until today, when slavery was abolished more than 100 years ago, they still blame slavery. It is high time that we, as individuals, particularly the black ones, will understand that we cannot be favored forever. We must find mentors, we must be mentored, and rather than being given things free of charge that we have not worked for. I know some people are saying, no, it's because you're too much with these whiteys, that's why you forget your darkies. Friends, I'm just using this thing called common sense. I want black people, we must produce professors. Thank God for a professor here. We need to produce professors. We need to produce scientists. We need to produce people that will be acclaimed internationally because of their ability. Your color of your skin is not your disadvantage. Ladies and gentlemen, that young lady there, please stand, Michael. That young lady is black. She won a prize. Should I tell them? Thank you. She is smart. Because when my children grew up, let me tell you, when my children grew up, they were never told that you are disadvantaged because of your color. They were never told. They were told and taught Philippians chapter 4 verse 13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. They were taught hard work. Parents, let's teach our children to work hard. Let's teach our children to work hard. I am not happy with this 30% pass. 30%. You only know 30% and you are proud of a certificate when you only know 30% of your school work. ACDP is going to increase that. When we come into office, the next day, the next year we increase. Why? Because we are going to give you teachers who are properly qualified. Teachers who are studying themselves and improving themselves. Teachers who will make sacrifices and have extra lessons so that our children will be among the best. I don't want our children with 30% to always be told, you have passed, you are a star, you got three A's with 30%. No. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what the ACDP is saying. We are saying, Can I close my notes now and speak from my heart in the next few minutes? All right, I want to answer a question. There are many questions that we are being asked. But one of the questions, maybe it's twofold. Firstly, ACDP has been around for 30 years. What have you done? Yeah. What makes you sure that this time you're going to do well? Two reasons I give them. Number one, political analysts in Africa have said it takes an average of 30 years to remove a liberation organization that takes power from power. They say it takes an average of 30 years. Now, the liberation organization that has been in government, how many years have they been in government? How many years? Is it time to go for them? Is it time to go? It is time to go. An average of 10 years. An indication that definitely it is time for them to go. If they split, they are splitting. People are leaving. Even those who are saying, my blood is red, yellow, and green. Those people that was a high, not scatter the manji. We have been hopeful for so long. It's no more waking. Ladies and gentlemen, it is true. It's no more waking. It's 30 years. It's time for them to say, but the second reason I give them is a biblical one. What is that biblical reason? There is a story I like that if you believe you have a Bible, go and check it out. When the children of Israel had to take Jericho, Jericho was closed. You know, thick, very strong walls. And they were given the instruction, just march around Jericho. They marched, they were told march 7 days, 7 times. The 7 days, 7 times. The first day, they marched. Those who wanted to see before they believe, they went to check the walls. There was no crack. Second day, checked. There was no crack. Third day, they checked. No crack. The wall is as solid as ever. As solid as ever. The fifth day, no crack. Sixth day, no crack. Seventh day, they were told, march 7 times. Ladies and gentlemen, may I remind you that the elections in 2024 is the 7th election. It's the 7th one. South Africa is going to see something they never thought possible. ACDP members, be encouraged. This is our time. This is the 7th time. The walls are coming down. The walls will come down. Resistance is coming down. ACDP will march into the legislatures. We will march into all. How they were marching in. KwaZulu-Natal were marching in. Eastern Cape were marching in. All the legislatures, get ready, get ready, get ready. It is time. I said it is time. Mpumalanga be ready. Limpopo be ready. Free State be ready. Eastern Cape. It is time. Everybody say change. Everybody say change. ACDP is marching in now. This is our time. This is our year. 2024. ACDP in government. 2024. ACDP in government. Program Director, thank you. God bless you.